Dark psychology is such a controversial topic that most YouTubers and creators hesitate to discuss it. If you learn dark psychology, these YouTube creators and content makers will no longer be able to manipulate you. Even the people around you will be exposed for who they truly are because people are manipulating you every day, and you might not even realize it. Being a good person doesn't mean the world will treat you well. Psychopaths like Hitler, big companies, politicians, salesmen, and some people around you have been using dark psychology for years to their advantage. You should learn dark psychology not to manipulate others, but to prevent anyone from manipulating you. In this video, we will tell you about 11 dark psychological tricks that you should definitely know. Number 1. Gaslighting is a manipulation trick, where the manipulator messes with your memories, making you doubt yourself. They make you see and feel the situation the way they want you to. For example, if someone wronged you and you confronted them, they would twist the situation to make it seem like it was your fault. They will challenge your understanding, making you feel like you misheard or overreacted, and that your expectations were too high, causing your own hurt. Such people should be avoided as they are common around you. Number 2. Spreading fear to achieve one's goals is a very common dark psychological trick that dates back to Hitler's time. He used media and propaganda to portray Jews as the biggest threat to Germany, spreading fear among people to control them. Politicians and big companies use this trick today to sell products by creating fear. A boss might instill fear in employees that they could lose their job anytime, or in relationships, people use fear to control their partners. Whenever someone tries to scare you into doing something, recognize it as a false fear and understand that they are just trying to take advantage of you. Number 3. Love bombing. This trick is most commonly used in romantic relationships. One person showers the other with excessive affection, gifts, and surprises initially, making the other person fall in love with them. Once the manipulator feels that the victim is under their control, they reduce the love bombing, causing the victim to crave the lost affection and feel rejected. The victim then starts complying with the manipulator's unreasonable demands. If someone is overly sweet to you initially, understand that something is off. Number 4. Social proofing. In his book Influence: The Psychology of Persuasion, Robert Cialdini explains that when we are confused, we look at the people around us, including friends, celebrities, or influencers, to decide what is right. Social proof is a very common psychological trick where you start doing something just because others are doing it. The dark side of this trick is when fake social proof is created. For example, sometimes your perception is changed without you even realizing it. Number 5. Silent treatment. This is a very dark psychological hack based on the principle silence speaks louder than words. To break someone or make them confess, staying silent can be more effective than talking or creating drama. Silence triggers multiple emotions in the other person, causing confusion, self-doubt, and anger while increasing attachment. In relationships, using the silent treatment is very evil. For example, complete silence will confuse them, make them angry, and they will eventually start doing what you want. This trick is very dangerous and tortures the other person psychologically, so you should avoid using it on others. Number 6. Guilt tripping. In guilt tripping, the manipulator repeatedly reminds you of a past mistake, making you feel guilty and vulnerable. They do this to make you comply with their wishes. For example, if your partner wants to go somewhere you don't want to, instead of convincing you, they might say things like, "You never go anywhere with me. Last time, we couldn't go anywhere either. You don't like me, so you don't want to go anywhere with me." By making you feel guilty, they trap you into agreeing with them. Number 7. Forced teaming. Forced teaming is a manipulation tactic where the manipulator makes you feel like you are in the same boat with them. This is often seen in professional life. For example, your boss might give a long speech about how the company is in trouble and needs everyone's help, then ask you to work on Sunday without taking a day off. This way, you are forced into teamwork against your will. Friends, partners, or colleagues can use this trick to make their problems seem like yours, so be cautious. Number 8. Choice restriction. This tactic involves limiting people's choices to guide their decisions in a specific direction. Directly making someone do something is not easy, but if you limit their choices, their decision-making power also becomes limited. For example, if you want your younger sibling to start studying, instead of directly asking them to study, you can say, "Go get some stuff from outside," or "Do some housework because you're not studying anyway." They will likely choose to study instead of doing other tasks. This way, people restrict your choices to make you do what they want. Number 9. Amplifying problems. Making a mountain out of a molehill can seem very simple from a third-person perspective. Seeing two people arguing over a small scratch on the road might seem trivial to you, but when it happens to you, the fear, urgency, and pressure you feel put you in a vulnerable state. For example, if you were supposed to meet your partner at 5 p.m. but arrived at 5:30 p.m., you might think it's just a half-hour delay. But your partner might create a huge fuss, saying things like, title, "They stood in the sun for half an hour." This would make you vulnerable, and you might end up complying with all their demands for the rest of the day. Number 10. Go slightly wrong. People hide things from you by either saying nothing or by twisting the facts. When you ask them something unrelated, they feel a natural urge to correct you. For example, if a colleague recently resigned and you want to know where they applied, instead of asking directly, you could say, "I heard you're going abroad." They might respond, "No, I'm staying in the country." You then say, "In New York?" They reply, "No, in Los Angeles." You then say, "Did you join a startup?" They reply, "No, it's just a company." This way you get the information you want indirectly. Number 11. Self-abasement. A manipulator sometimes uses self-abasement or putting themselves down to gain trust, apologize, or strengthen relationships. When we insult ourselves in front of others, they feel superior, which makes them feel good. For example, if your partner is angry and not listening to you, self-abasement can help. Saying things like, "I'm terrible. I don't know how I made this mistake. I always mess things up," can be enough to manipulate them. Women also use this trick by slightly downgrading themselves to get more compliments.